Hello, I'm Robert of Deadartstudios, and this is Painting with Deadartstudios. And tonight, I'm working on a volcano acrylic painting, a landscape that I made up. And I just started painting on a canvas that I had. I painted over an old painting that I didn't really like, and put in the yellow background and some clouds, and then I thought I'd try a dark foreground, and all the colours I was using sort of work quite well together. And then it got me thinking of those sort of Icelandic landscapes, and I have visited once, and that's what it reminded me of. And I thought, well, I'll try and put a volcano in there, so I painted that at the back there, and this was all in the first session. I didn't record that, and it's nice to paint sometimes without recording, and that's what I was doing. But I did have my mobile on it for TikTok and such. But anyway, I was just painting away, and this is where I got to after the first session. So I thought I'd show you the second session, and I'm just mixing up some colours there to go over on the next layers, and we'll see how we get on with this painting. And I'm kind of pleased with it. It's a good first study, although you can't really call it a study, can you? Because I've kind of just made it up. So I don't know what I'm studying. I must be studying my own imagination, I guess. So let's say that. And this has led to quite an interesting place where I actually quite like the colour palette and the sort of combination of the greys and the blacks and the whites mixing in with those fiery colours of the sort of explosion itself. And I've ordered some more wooden boards to paint on, and I'm going to do some more of these, maybe a little series. But what I want to do is focus in on the explosion itself a little bit more, and sort of the further scene, if you can imagine zooming in on it and bringing it forward and maybe abstracting it a bit to create something that's got a big wash of colour in it, and maybe not so much the landscape that I've ended up with here anyway. But I'm quite pleased with the painting, but I think what it's done is sowed the seed for things to come, rather than this being the place that I stop at with the sort of general theme and the colours that are mixed and things like that. So an interesting time. I've brought some gloss medium. I've ordered that, and I'm going to try mixing that with my impasto modelling medium to gloss it up a bit, because I don't really like the matte look, and I thought the gloss might look quite nice with the impasto look. So, but the problem is the gloss actually thins the paint, and the modelling medium thickens the paint. So who knows what we'll end up with. We'll just have to do some experimentation, but I think that might work quite well, and we'll see how it goes when I get that. And that should be coming. And I've got some other little bits and bobs. So I've got 5 small birchwood boards. That's difficult to say, isn't it? And the reason I went for birchwood was when I was painting this and I was doing sort of the smoke and stuff, I didn't really enjoy it on the canvas. I wanted it to look smoother, and in general I'm not that keen on canvas, and I got these a while ago and I thought I better use them. In fact, I got them over 5 years ago, I think, and I thought I should use them, so that's what I was doing. And but I've sort of realised that I think I prefer the smoothness of board, so that's what I'm going to get. I may well be wrong, we'll see. And they should be coming soon. I got a little misting bottle so that I can do wet on wet with acrylic, because I also found that I quite like dry brushing, and that might work quite well on the board, but then I thought I'd better have some wet on wet options as well. So I've got that coming. And what else did I get? I can't remember. I think that might have been it, actually. So they'll be coming soon, and we can do some more videos on this general theme, I think, and that should be pretty good. So I'm really happy with the new year, which is what we're in now, and I'm really looking forward to the channel. And the great news is there's actually some people watching the videos now, which wasn't the case before. So if you are one of those people, then thank you very much. I hope that you're enjoying them, and if not, hi anyway, and I wish you all the best with what other videos you do go on and find in the art field on YouTube. But to those people who are interested and want to stick around and see what I do this year, I'm really honoured and happy that some people are actually watching these, and it makes me feel less silly doing it and recording the videos, and even less silly doing my painting and stuff. So that's really great. I know it sounds strange to say something like, oh, it's silly, but you know, when you're talking to yourself and then watching videos that you've made yourself and then talking to yourself about that and putting it all on the internet, if absolutely nobody watches them, which is always got to be the case when you start, then you do feel a bit silly. So it's nice that there are some people watching, and it's really great, and hopefully that continues to build as we go forward this year. And I will be sticking to YouTube for now and for the future, really, I think, and we'll definitely give it a good hard go this year and see what happens. Anyway, so back to the painting. I've mixed up a ridiculous amount of that sort of off yellow, which was done with carbon black and cadmium yellow. I'm using Golden brand acrylic paints, which are just the ones that I bought and chose to use. There's loads of different types of acrylic paint out there, and I just got those ones, the ones I've seen in the shops and stuff, and the ones I've seen other people using, so just seemed like a logical choice. And yeah, mix those together, and I've got loads of this almost olivey greeny yellow colour, and I'm just applying that to the lower horizon and just brushing it in and trying to really make the colours stronger and stand out more. And I think that colour did seem to work quite well with the explosion and the sort of general vibe of a volcano landscape. And this came from our imagination, so in my mind this doesn't even have to be something that's real. And the idea behind the explosion itself is that it is the initial second of it just blasting out from its whatever the name is, the caldera. There you go, some volcanology terminology. There you go, wrapping for you. And it's just meant to be that initial second as it blasts out. So there's nothing sort of falling to the ground. It's just going up and off, and you can imagine like a high-speed photo capturing that. And that's the sort of vibe I was going for. And it doesn't really even have to be on planet Earth or anything like that. It's just from the mind. And it's more about the feeling you get as that initial explosion sort of goes off. And I've got that sort of ridge line in the foreground that's just leading up to that. And then it goes, and boom, off we go into the sky. So I kind of wanted to leave the rest of the picture pretty blank. And the problem I'm having generally is I don't want something to look unfinished and underworked, and on the other hand I don't want it to look overworked, and it's a matter of practice and skill, I think, to be able to do that, to be able to do very little and make it look polished and finished. And I haven't done that yet here, and I haven't really managed that here. And generally speaking with my art, I tend to be a fiddler, and I'm fiddling until I find an endpoint that I'm happy with. And well, I want to try and move away from that. I want to put something down that's clean and simple, but that makes an impact and looks finished, even though there's not been a great deal done to it. And that's partly because I want to create a lot, which I think if you want to be a painter, then you have to do. I mean, I suppose an example of that is Francis Bacon, the English figurative painter, who he was around in the 50s right up to the 80s, wasn't he? And before, I think, maybe even the 30s. He did over 800 paintings, and I didn't know that. I was a fan of him, and I could think of like maybe 10 that I've seen, online, and I've seen one or two in person as well. I think maybe just one actually at the Museum of Modern Art in New York. And, you just think of these famous artists having done like 10 famous paintings and that's it. Well, he did 800, and, goodness knows where they all are or what happened to them. But I'm in my mid-40s, and if I want to do 800 paintings, I need to get on with it. And so I guess, I want to execute them quickly, but well. I want them to be skill in there. And that is what I want to practice with this series of paintings. And that's what I want to do the next ones for, to try and focus in on what it is that I'm interested in the art. So when there's the explosion, that moment where it goes off, and capturing that unrealistic but almost photographic moment where it happens, and also some structure and geometry from like the line in the ridge line going up to the mountain in the background, and just reducing that and not overworking it. And I think by the time I got to the end of this painting, I was happy with it in terms of how it went and everything, but it looked overworked, and even in the places where I've done a lot of work, it kind of looked unfinished and unprofessional, because it had detail, but it just didn't really seem to be super pro. I don't know. I'm lost for words on it, but I think you probably know what I mean. And I was in one of the shopping centres where I live, and they got the big Castle art galleries here in the UK. It's like a chain of art galleries where you can buy expensive art, but it's on the high street, so you can just walk in and they'll ply you with champagne until you're drunk enough to spend several £1,000s on something. It's all very nice. You should go in and visit. But I was looking at their paintings from outside. I daren't step foot inside because you'll get charmed very, very quickly. And they're so nice and friendly, and it's also beautiful in there that you could easily fall into spending money that you didn't plan on. But anyway, I was looking at the paintings from outside, and the level of professionalism and finish and finesse in them was just far beyond anything that I've managed to do yet, which kind of obviously makes sense, because I'm even though I've been doing art a long time, and photography and drawing, taking it seriously is a new thing, and so it's to be expected that that's not happened. And also the scale and the materials they're using give that super polished look to it, and that is where I want to go. I do want to go there and try and make something that just blows you away a bit, and that's partially going to be a matter of scale, which is something that I'm not going to attempt yet with these, because I want to keep them small so I can do them quick and reasonably cheap, and hone in on something. Maybe we can move to scale later, but I suppose this year, the beginning of this year, I'm interested in pushing the channel forward and push my art forward together. So, the paintings don't have to be big and impressive. It's just about working on stuff and moving forward. And then if this channel does go somewhere, and if my painting does get better, we can move to something big and impressive and use everything that I've learned to do that. And I do want to do that. And we'll see. I think I can. When I paint, I get in a really happy place. It's really calming and soothing, and time flies. And I think I'm doing great and amazing things, and then I stop and look at the end, and I'm like, And that is a sad in some ways, because I shouldn't necessarily think like that. But there's also a reality check in there. And that reality check is to push yourself and to get better. And, if you're not interested in doing art for those reasons, then that's amazing, isn't it? That's absolutely, in some ways, the perfect place to be in. You sit down, you do your art, you enjoy it, you pack it away, and then you move on. But I want to push it for some reason and see what I can do and where I can go. I've always done that with everything, pushing it. And we're going to push it with the painting as well. So, brace yourselves. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a nice New Year so far, and you've managed to find time to be with either yourself or your family or the people that you love, And I do hope that this year is a peaceful year, everybody knows the troubles in the world at the moment, and I just hope that planet Earth finds a way towards a little bit more peace and love. Let's hope so, hey? But if not, then it's our responsibility to try and breathe that out to other people, but also it's our responsibility to continue in our lives and endeavours and keep ourselves happy and positive, because if we can do that, then we have a chance of helping others in just that simple way. So back to the painting, and I'm just brushing the sky now, dry brushing it off a bit, I think, and trying to blend everything in. And I've intensified the sky, and it's looking good. And at some point I think I take it further than I want to take it, but there you go, that's what happens. And that's part of the learning process that I'm going to go through to find the sweet spot. And so I'm sort of like glazing over the grey there and blending it all in. And these videos, I filmed all this is all real time, so there's at least an hour of me working on this real time. I don't know if I'll choose to show all of that on YouTube, but if I want to upload more and I'm chatting fast and good like I am tonight, even if it might be nonsense in your mind and you might think this guy's insane, but whatever, everyone's entitled to their own opinions and tastes, aren't they? So, if I'm talking good, talking fast, feeling happy, feeling well, then maybe I'll just use these sessions as a platform to create more content that maybe you'd want to listen to and give some more of my thoughts on my day. And it's therapeutic for me to sit down and look at what I've done and think about it and talk a little bit about what's on my mind. Life can be lonely sometimes when you're busy and you've got a small child like I have that I care for all day. It can be a bit lonely and you don't have a lot of time to look inwards or do anything other than chase the darling about. And so to sit and just to watch can be good, and maybe that is what you guys are doing here too. Maybe you just want to watch some painting. Who knows? Anyway, whatever, I wish you well. And we're basically at the end of this video. We'll have another one soon. Take care, thank you for watching, and I wish you all well. Bye bye.